Good afternoon and welcome to TGP1 Season 23 Rounds 5 and 6, and it is China and Japan. Now, as you can see, 5 minutes to go before the end of qualifying. A lot of people have already set their lap time, so it's looking quite good at the moment. It's very close to the top. As you can see, Matt on a 30.6, basically a 30.7, Machine Fishy, Corey, Aiden, all separated by a tenth and a half between the top four, so it's very tight at the top. It could be anyone's game. 4 minutes and 33 left. There could be another one, maybe 2 runs in if people time it right. Tyre wear is not very good around China, so you need to be very careful. You don't want to do 2 runs because you're going to be pitting very early. People who start on the softest tyre, which is the red wall tyre, they'll be pitting lap 3, maybe trying to push lap 4 before their pit stop, so very early pit stops. Last season, the opposite strategy was the quickest, obviously on that. So you want to be going the opposite strategy if possible. And as we can see, everyone at the moment is currently on the soft tyre. And actually, let's take a look, shall we? Everyone, other than P15, P16 and P17, everyone in the top 14 have set their fastest time so far on the soft tyre. So nobody is going for that alternate strategy at the moment. Everyone is in the pits as well, as you can see on the wall on the left, other than Jack Pearson, who's now coming on an out lap, obviously coming around turn 1, so it could be an interesting lap for Jack. Will the pressure get to him? Will he be listening to this commentary? I think he will be, but we'll see. Will he bottle it or not? He's currently in P10, so he's probably hoping actually to maybe lose a position so that he can start on fresh tyres and potentially, just like he did last season, start on the alternate strategy there. But it's very close. I would still say pole position is going to be a high 29, I would probably say, to a very, very low 30. They're 7 tenths off at the moment, so they are still very, very far away, which is quite surprising at the moment. Obviously, the track maybe not giving them as much grip as possible. So, we'll see what it can be and obviously what the lap will be there. But I think Matt has definitely more in his pocket. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't, to be honest with yourself, as we've got a yellow flag. Obviously, there is a McLaren off just ahead of Jack Pearson. And I do believe it is Speed Knighton. No, it's not. It is his teammate, Risky Racer. And does he have a front wing? It's hard to tell, to be honest with yourself, with these camera angles. They are the worst. We can see his DRS. We know that works at least. But I think he might just be, I think, as we can see, slowing it down there. So, yeah. But what we'll do then, who is the closest to starting a lap? I think it is Jack. So we'll go off board. With Jack Pearson, then DRS wide open down that straight. Nice, good camera angle there down it. Very easy turn 1 to mess it up. Keep it in the middle of the track there, as he does. Slowly go down the gears. Try and hit the apex there, as there's a yellow flag. That's nothing, obviously, to worry about for Jack. Obviously, very easy to get squirrely out of this turn 2, turn 3 into this next corner as the curb stops. 100-metre board, get down there, go into first gear if you have to, just get a bit more rotation, short shift to second all the way to third, take a wide line into this next corner just so you don't understeer and you've got the right hander nice and squared away, as it were. But Jack taking it very gently, it seems. He's got a bit of traffic ahead of him. Hopefully that does not obviously cause him too much distress on his lap. One of them gets out of the way. I think that is a fry of Matt Tibosh. Yep, that's perfectly fine. Nothing to worry about there for Jack. Into the next corner. Me and Aiden actually had a bit of an interesting contact there. Martin Northant's in P17 ahead of him. Martin, at the moment, I do believe, is on a lap, and he's actually done 6 laps on those hard tyres, as Jack's understeer there, thanks to the slipstream, and he actually backs out of it, so that's not good for Jack. I don't think he got held up, but the understeer did not help then. And let's actually go on board then, as Matt is about to start his lap, as obviously Corey then is in P3 with regards to that. Going into that, he did just have a purple middle sec, then as Elite Shots has retired from that, obviously. However, what I am going to do, though, I'm actually going to go on board with Matt. He is on P1 at the moment. He's actually coming to start a lap, taking it very gently, as we can see, with regards to that. Corey's actually going down the back straight at the moment, with regards to that. So, we'll take a look then. Obviously, what Corey is able to. He's on a 30.8 at the moment. Only, again, attempting off as Phil Bardwell has retired, obviously, from the session. Not on track as far as I can see there. But then Corey around this final corner. He's not invalidated his lap, so that's positive for himself. And here we go then across the line. And does he improve? He goes P1 at 30.5 at the moment. And then Aiden coming round the second to last corner. As Khalifa goes the fastest, 30.5. And that is his qualifying done. Is Aiden going to improve? We'll see. Runs it a bit wide there. Nothing to worry about. And Aiden will go to, and he stays P5. He does not improve. P4 then. We're going to go on board with him. P4 at the moment, 30.7 as Corey has retired from the session. So that is him done. He won't be getting a pole position in this race. DRS, wide open for Machine Fishy at the moment. He's in P4. Although, you know, he's not far off. He's not far off at all. Gets it a bit hot in there, tries to get it back. Nothing too major there, but we'll see then as Speed 9 actually goes into P4 on a 30.7 as well there. Final corner for the Machine Fishy. Nice, good last corner. Where's it going to go? Is it going to be improvement? He goes P3 there. And then Matt, obviously, car getting out of the way there of Matt. Matt, again, on a 30.7. John, as I believe, is crossing the line. Obviously, on that. And he goes P7, so he does improve by 1 position with regards to that. So not what he wants really. But then Matt, as far as I can see on the right hand side, he's not set a purple sector anywhere. But that's maybe because we've gone on board with him mid session. I think he should improve, and I think he might have backed off there. And he does actually go a 30.3, obviously there. So that is pretty much everyone done. Obviously Kyle in P13. Has basically done Lewis Hamilton, as you can see there, and he's coming into the pits, so not good for him. And that is qualifying over as well. Panos there in his AI, hitting the back of Aiden Griffins, and he's now lost a wheel. That's what we like to see. Codemasters, great game there, mate. Great game. We do love it. However, that is your qualifying done and dusted. Matt Tibos gets a pole position. Yet again, not surprising there. It is a low 30, as I said. Not quite the 29s, but I don't think Matt has really done a lot of sweat for this season, to be honest with yourself. So it may be a bit difficult with regards to that. So, waiting for, well, Kyle, presumably to retire. And there we go. He does retire, thankfully. So nothing to worry about there. And that is your qualifying for TGP1. And I must point out as well, it is going to be a dry race, I'm hearing from my pit lane reporter. And here's the grid then. Matt Tibos, P1, another pole position for him, where he needs to be, especially at this circuit. Everyone on the soft tyres. Khalifa, P2, where he wants to be. He does not want to bottle it like he did last race. Corey, P3, good Alfa Romeo, second and third. Then Machine Fishy, again, good for him. Knighton, P5. Aiden Griffins, maybe a bit disappointed with P6. Johners, obviously doing his second week of the season in P7. J. Luke in 8th. Elite Shots, I'd say quite successful. He won a race last race, so yeah, that's fine. Phil disappointing. Panos, Jack Pearson, Kyle, Ginger Andy, Risky Racer, Mr. Cheapelli, Martin, obviously Northants, Dan the Man, sets no time. I think Dan the Man did actually rejoin. He did disconnect in qualifying. So that's perfectly fine there, obviously with that. So I would also like to say, before tonight, there was 4 winners from the first 4 races, 4 different pole sitters and 4 different fastest lap setters. That has now changed because obviously Matt Tibos has a pole position there. It is a bit cloudy, as we can see here, so not really what you want. There is, I believe, no chance of rain at all, so it should stay cloudy pretty much the entire race. But we'll see. Turn 1, very, very difficult. So many cars into the turn 1. It's very easy just to take a bit too much speed. We need to make it clean. Obviously with regards to that, and J. Luke, obviously, even though he's racing in this session, is actually put a comment on the stream. So hello J. Luke, hopefully you have a clean and good race. Let's find out, shall we? 2 seconds to go before the lights come on and the revs get higher. A few drivers will be getting very nervous right now. Here we go, the grid. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights. I can't actually see the lights because they're off camera, but there is a Ferrari on P1, which is perfect. And there we go, lights are out. Obviously, we're watching the rest of the grid clearly. And there we go. There's a Renault on the left-hand side going up the inside. Is he going to keep it on there? I think he is. Nice and clean. He backs out. Matt Tibos already getting a bit of a gap as the rest fight behind. And there we go then. Look at this. A few cars side by side. Relatively clean, as we can see there. Obviously, Renault getting pushed out a bit there. McLaren and an Alfa Romeo going side by side. As far as I can see, there's no massive bits of contact there. No cars around. So that is fantastic. Matt Tibos already has an 8 10th lead. Khalifa, P2 I believe it was, he's already down to P4, so not the start that he really wanted. Knighton up a couple of positions there as well. There's a bit of tussling going on behind, as we can see there. Obviously, there's a Red Bull going there, Toro Rosso there, as Machine Fishy has now been overtaken by Jean-Luc Taylor. Obviously, Johners is up to P5, as you can see in his Toro Rosso. There's a bit of battling going there. J-Luke, and ooh, bit of a silly move there from J-Luke. Tried to go up the inside of Phil Bardwell, but not quite making it stick, as there's a few cars there with a bit of damage. And as we can see in P12, there is Ginger Andy, obviously making his return to TGP1. I don't think he's actually played F1 2019 on this console, as it were, so it's a learning experience for himself. I'm actually going to go on board with Machine Fishy, getting the not DRS yet. However, he's got the slipstream on Johners. Is he going to go down the outside? He is. Is he going to outbrake him? He thinks about it. Johners, perfect defensive move there. Doesn't lock up there with regards to that, but that is perfectly fine. And Luca Chiapelli and Andy going up the inside there. However, he's massively overshot that corner. However, now Martin Northon's up the inside of Andy as well, as Matt Tibos sets the absolute fastest lap at 35.3 on the first lap there. However, there is a car in the pits, as we can see. Aiden has pitted in the Red Bull. He's going to try the undercut. It depends on what tyre he goes on. I think the hard tyres are probably the best one there. But there we go then. So, as we can see, a bit of gap forming between some of the drivers there. And Machine Fishy and John, as they're in P5, still going at it, not too far. I think this is the closest battle on the circuit at the moment, as in the lead, Matt Tibos does have a second lead, so he's going to be safe from DRS just about. But then, as we can see, Luca overtaking Martin, runs it a bit wide, goes off the circuit there, and Martin is back in to P10. And now Luca is going to be a bit of an under threat from Ginger Andy, and Luca does have wing damage there, as Dan the Man makes his return to TGP1. And there we go, we're going to get rid of the top right, because it's obscuring the screen there. We're actually going to stay on board with this just for this DRS straight, because I think it could be an easy move. Andy maybe using a lot of his ERS, and there we go. Obviously, Andy 23% ERS there, while Dan the Man has 60%, as Andy runs a bit wide there, nearly goes into the back of Luca, and Luca does have wing damage, I will point out as well. So Luca maybe is sitting duck into the next few corners. I think Luca should probably pit this lap, just at least that way he's got a new wing, and he's not obviously getting held up there. And here we go then, Ginger Andy, DRS wide open and slipstream. Right, is it going to be a good battle? And Dan the Man there really weaving about, trying to get that distraction as Matt Tibos sets no faster. And actually, J-Luke trying to go up the inside of Dan the Man there. So not what Dan the Man really wants, as the DRS is now wide open and activated, should I say, as it is lap 3. And Luca then, Mr. Chiapelli, has decided not to pit with his damaged wing. And then Andy, here we go, he's thinking about it. That's probably an illegal move if he goes that way, as he dives around the outside. Is he going to make it around the outside? He thinks about it. And actually, Andy has partially wing damage on his right-hand side after our left there. And it goes up the inside. Perfect move by Andy. Bit of contact there, but nothing too major, as obviously Luca then goes back up the inside. Full lock. Is it going to be contact? Just about holds it stick. And then there we go. Obviously, Dan the Man trying around the outside of Luca, obviously Mr. Chiapelli, as J-Luke is actually going up the inside of Dan the Man there, so it's close, it's a bit of contact there, it's getting very close as we can see, but nice and clean there. That's perfectly fine. So this battle is definitely the most exciting, as Matt has pulled in another 3 attempts on P2, which is Corey. And J-Luke then thinking about up the inside, and actually, you know what, Dan the Man there thought about going on the racing line. However, J-Luke, I think, distracts him a bit there with regards to that. However, we're going back to the DRS straight, massive straight. DRS is very powerful. J-Luke then very late on the brakes there, slightly tags the back of Dan the Man, not really what he wants. I think that's cost him quite a bit of time and a good chance of overtaking there. Luca's gone wide again, so is Andy. So Luca and Andy both gone wide, both of them have damage, so it is very easy, and I think Luca's definitely going to have him there. We're going to go off board just to get a bit of cinematic cameras, and obviously is Dan the Man going to get him, as actually Andy then obviously goes back in the slipstream. Bit of weaving there from Luca, and needs to be very careful of that, as Andy nearly runs into the back, and that isn't allowed Dan the Man to get past there. And Matt Tibos then has pitted, Corey's pitted, Machine Fish is pitted, and so is Phil Bardwell. They have all pitted. So there we go then, Khalifa and Knight, and 3 attempts actually, obviously between the new leader, obviously Knighton, and actually Johners is right behind these two as well. So it's all close. It's really close between these guys, and as the people who pitted have came out 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th, or around about that. So There we go, and actually Dan and Luca side by side at the moment then, through turn 3. Bit of contact there, and Dan the man is through for the time being. Is Luca going to try it? Oh, and there's a racing point in there. Ginger Andy up the inside of Luca. Ginger Andy's race class very good tonight. To say he hasn't raced this game for a while, at least on this console, very good clean racing there. As Matt Tibos, actually, to say Matt Tibos is pitted, this could cost Matt Tibos quite dearly if any of these 3 decide to battle him. I think he will actually catch them on the DRS straight. However, these 2 are racing for position. They both have wing damage. They're not going to give a single inch, I think, to Matt Tibos, and quite rightly. And actually, I think it might not even last that long. Luca is going defensive, or is he looking for up the inside of Andy? Matt Tibos thinking about going around that side. He's lining him up, getting that better exit there as Luca takes a bit of grass there, and this is going to be really helping Corey to close that gap. And actually, Luca then running it wide. Due to that, Andy also running it wide. As there we go, we're actually going to go on board with Luca just to get a bit of a better camera angle to see, where each car is. It's 3 wide there, and obviously first, second, and third are all pitting. And then here we go. Then Luca has Matt Tibos outbraking himself there. Matt Tibos outbraking himself, and a bit of contact there. Matt Tibos gets a bit shoved out wide, but he is still up the inside there. Very clean, very clean. However, Matt Tibos did run it wide. Slight corner cut from Matt Tibos there, and DRS, as I'll see, there's a lot of drivers there in the pits, as you can see, but we're going to stick on board with this battle, as actually Matt Tibos there nearly runs into the back just because the DRS, as well as the slipstream, as well as the damage wing there, but Luca has now conceded that place to Matt Tibos, as Corey is right behind Ginger Andy as well there. So now, Matt Tibos is practically through this carnage in this traffic. However, now Corey needs to make it stick as well. Will Corey try any rash moves? I don't think he will. And as I'm saying that, Ginger Andy does run it a bit wide there, and Corey is through. However, Ginger Andy back up the inside. Is it going to be clean? Oh, I think Ginger Andy backs out there, and actually now Corey right up the inside of Luca Chiapelli as well. They're nice and clean. I don't, it's not a massive issue there for Corey, so that's perfectly fine. And then here we go. Dan the man, is he going to hold up Matt Tibos? I don't think it's going to make much of a difference, because obviously Dan won't have DRS. Matt will there, so this is good. And here we go then. There's actually, they don't even need to wait for the straight. Don't even need to wait for the straight. And here we go then. Dan the man is actually trying to fight back, obviously there, but Matt Tibos I think will have DRS, and there we go. Matt Tibos' DRS wide open, but yeah, there we go. Look at that slipstream. Oh, look at that DRS. Will Dan the man really backs out of it. He thinks better of it, and actually Dan the man does have wing damage as well. We're actually going to go to Machine Fishy, as there we go then. Obviously camera angles are horrendous yet again. Speed Knight and Machine Fishy fighting for P6 and P7, and this is actually, I believe, the fight for the podium. Obviously once everyone's made pit stops, Risky Racer has pitted obviously in the McLaren there, as we can see. It's literally just a case of trying to do what you can. Obviously I think he left it quite late, however he may be on the opposite strategy there, but as we can see, Machine Fishy really wanting to get that gap. And I must point out, all that traffic has now allowed Corey to get within that 1 second zone of Matt Tibos. Will he be able to close that gap? Will he be able to attack Matt Tibos? Again, I was saying, and a lot of people hated me for saying it, however, I did say Matt Tibos this week is probably going to win both races. I know how good he is. Everyone knows how good he is around these circuits. He knows that he's made mistakes. He knows that he's been in battles where he didn't need to be in, and it did cost him with contact, with incidents, with spinning, with things like that. So he wants to get out in front and forget any of it ever happened. And here we go. Then we're actually going to go a bit further down the grid. Phil Johners and Khalifa. I must point out, before tonight's races, the rundown of the championships before tonight's races. Khalifa is in P1 on 58 points. Corey, 55 points in P2. Speed Knight was on 46 points. Matt, who's now leading this race, was on 45. J. Luke, 44. Aidan Griffin's in P6 on 27, as we actually see, obviously, Knighton and Fishy side by side there. I think actually Machine Fishy was trying to go around the outside, and actually I think he's made it stick nice and clean there, as actually Martin Northants has pitted from the lead there, side by side into the final corner. Oh, I think Knighton really squeezed him there. Needs to be very careful of that. Obviously very easy for the car on the inside in that sort of situation to be the one that spun round, as Martin, I do believe. And there we go, side by side for the Toro Rossos. Nice clean race in there. Very clean. Johners up the inside of Phil. He's got that move stick there, and Khalifa is right behind this. So the Toro Rossos really need to think about team orders, I think. Don't want to hold each other up too much, as J-Luke has retired, I'm afraid. And I think that was out of the last corner, as I am hearing. And we're going to check that as well. Virtual safety car. Now, as you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, out the final corner, as Risky Race there has, got a 5-second penalty for hitting Kyle, who's... yeah, interesting one there. Anyway, but yeah, J-Luke, I think, came out the final corner and spun it a bit further down the straight. I think he did a bit of a Giovinazzi, actually, from, I think, to 2018. And virtual safety car could end on the straight, potentially. Who's going to get that... Matt running a bit wide there. Nothing too major, but he needs to be careful of the delta. And there we go. Virtual safety car has ended. DRS is enabled, apparently. Don't know if that's true or not. I don't think it is, but... first and second here, 4 attempts separating them. This is going to be good for Corey. DRS is available as well, so that's okay. I'm not sure that was a thing in real life that you could do it straight after. And Corey is going to think about it. He needs to think about it. It goes up the inside. Is going to get it stopped in time. He does, nice and easy there. And Matt Tibos thinking about trying to go. Oh, and Matt Tibos there. Matt Tibos is in the wall, and he's out. Matt Tibos is out of this race. He got oversteer on the exit, and he is out. So let's have a look then. Bit of contact there. I think nothing major for any other drivers. But this is now the fight for P2, second, third, fourth. Matt Tibos there, as we can see on the stream as well. Tried to undercut Corey. Got a bit of oversteer. Corrected it. Overcorrected it. And he went straight into the other side of the circuit and straight into the wall. And I think I spoke too soon. As actually Jonas and Phil having a bit of a ding-dong still. The teammates there. Khalifa still right behind these two, so it is pretty close. Only 2/10 separating them. Jonas is doing very well in this race. I think he was struggling a bit when he was doing his sweat sheds, a bit of practice earlier on today. Not happy with how the car was handling. However, one of the key things about China is you want a slightly more understeery car than an oversteery one. So that is the important thing there, and that is paying obviously very well for Jonas at the moment in P5. At the moment, he is in P14 in the standing. Only on 6 points is Jonas. Obviously, currently in P5, so that is going to be a good amount of points at the moment. So perfectly fine there with regards to that, and not massive gap there. However, we're going to go back on board obviously with Machine Fishy, as he's going to have DRS. He's in the slipstream. Will he make a move on Knighton? Knighton will go defensive. As you can see, he's already moving over to the right just to try and say, you're not coming this way, buddy. He goes very defensive there, and as we can see, trying to outbrake him around the outside. He's really thinking about it. Obviously, Knighton, though, pushes him straight off the circuit. Very, very difficult. Firm but fair, I'd say. You're trying to go around the outside of a hairpin, as Dan the Man has pitted, obviously, on that. So I think he will probably try and go on the softs now. Only choice. There's no point going on the hards for, 5 laps. However, Dan the Man's tyres will be shot, I must point out, by the end of the race. So, he needs to be very careful there. And, as we can see, it's a bit of a stalemate between P4, P5 and P6. Jonas and Phil battling enough that Khalifa is staying in touch, but Khalifa, his championship's really fading. I think, going at the moment, Corey will take lead of that championship, as he was only 3-4 points behind Khalifa before tonight's races, so that gap's going to swing quite dramatically in Corey's favour, and actually, it's also going to, swing quite dramatically away from Matt Tibos. He's on 45 points. The leader, currently, is on 58 points. Matt Tibos is not scoring a single point in this first race, while P2 and P3 in the championship are going to score quite good there. And actually, we're going to go obviously on board with Kyle as he goes into the DRS zone onto this main straight, very long straight, very easy to get that slipstream. And if you're anywhere near as he is at the moment, it's a pretty much done deal that you're going to get overtaken with the DRS and slipstream there. But we're going to keep on board, obviously on the T-cam with it. DRS not quite open yet. He's going to do it pretty much before he's even opened the DRS. And there we go. Nice and easy there. And actually, I was thinking there, Risky Racer was probably going to try and go up the inside. He brakes very late, but not quite close enough there with regards to that, as the gap, still 5 tenths between the two Toro Rossos, or Alpha Tauris as they're now known, in 2020. If the season ever gets underway, that is. We'll see there, as we see the Red Bull in the background going a bit wide out of there. And we're actually going to go back to the fight for P2, Knighton and Machine Fishy. And I'm actually going to go on, have a look at the tyres both, Machine Fishy, a 1 lap older set of tyres than Knighton. Everyone's on the mediums. Martin is on the hards. As you actually see, obviously Luca is in the pits there with regards to that, so that's perfectly fine there. But we're going to actually stay on board with, or off board, should I say, with this fight for P2. 3/10 in it, obviously, with regards to that there. And Ginger Andy all the way down in, 14th as Luca is in the pits. He will be changing his front wing, Luca. He stayed out very, very long with regards to that. And actually, side by side, the racing points. Ginger Andy really trying to go for it, really getting aggressive with his teammate, I believe. Bit of lag there as Jack Pearson does get a penalty. First one of the race. Not bad for him. Bit of lag there from Panos, but Andy is going to want that position. This is his first race tonight. It will be. He wants those points. He really wants them. And here we go then. We're going to go on board again with Machine Fish. He's got the DRS. Knighton goes defensive. As Knighton does move back across the circuit, he needs to be very careful. Knighton does. He doesn't want to crowd him off the circuit, or that will be a penalty and a half over there. But Knighton not having to go defensive into the final corner, you don't want to. It's going to cost you so much time. But he does have DRS down this main straight again. Is he going to get him into turn 1? It's going to be very difficult. Very easy for a crash as Knighton then sort of keeps it in the middle. Oh, he thinks about it. Machine Fish trying to go around the outside, but the corner tightens up way too much for that. You lose ground just because of how the corner is, rather than the momentum that you take in there. But it's still very close between this pair for P2 and P3. Johners in P4 now gone to 6 temps. It was about 3-4 temps. So Johners has put out a slight gap to Phil Haver. If you're in your second, it's not going to make a difference. You're going to get the slipstream and you're going to get that back all in the DRS. Risky Racer in P8 is actually only 4 temps behind Kyle in P7 there. So it's pretty close through. A few little battles here and there. People within a second of each other. So that's really, really good to see. Obviously, we'd like to see a good battle. China doesn't always produce the best racing. Last season it was absolutely fantastic because I think it actually rained. As obviously, I think who was it that won that race? I'm not too sure who won last season's race actually, but I know it was an interesting one because it was raining. And actually, we're going to go back on board then. We're going to go off board. Actually, no, we're not, because that camera is horrendous. And here we go then. Knighton trying to go defensive. Knighton will go back up the inside. And actually, Machine Fishy very late there, moving into the centre. It's just about legal, as he does get a worse exit than Knighton. Side by side into the final corner. Perfectly fine there, but now I believe Knighton will have DRS, and he does. Will Machine Fishy go defensive? I think he should. He goes defensive very late. Now Knighton back up the inside into turn 1, and actually, ooh, that camera angle very deceiving, but it was nice and clean there, which is good to see as Knighton back into P2. This is a very, very good battle, obviously, for the podium. This is about honour. This is about the points. This is about saying, I am in P2. I want the maximum points absolutely possible. And this is a very, very good battle with regards to that. So, this is at the moment the closest battle on the grid, or on the field, should I say. 5 tenths between 2nd and 3rd. Obviously, 6 tenths between 4th and 5th. And then another 5 tenths for 6th. And obviously, Risky Racer not quite getting past Kyle as of yet. It's about a second gap between those two. So yeah, there's quite a few battles. But we are going to stay on board with this battle for P2. It's getting juicy. It's getting hairy. And who doesn't love a good, juicy battle for 2 cars? Obviously, for that. And obviously, Cleaver at the moment is only P6. He's going to lose the championship lead. But that's not a bad thing. It's only, the 5th round of this season. There's still plenty of races to go. Plenty of drama, I'm sure, to unfold. As here we go, Machine Fish 2 temps behind him now. DRS, Knighton goes very defensive. I think Knighton's really placing his car very well down this straight. He knows that he needs to go defensive. Machine Fishy catches him just into the braking zone, so there's not really any place for him to get past him, really. It's very difficult when you catch him sort of towards the end of the straight, because, you can't get that overspeed as then Machine Fishy around the outside of turn 1. He's actually done it, I believe. There we go. He's around the outside, but it does tighten up. Is he going to try and hold it? He is. He's going to try and hold it. Ooh, side by side, still side by side. This is good, clean racing. I like it. I really, really like it. And actually, Knighton still has the inside. Knighton back into P2. There was a bit of contact there on the exit. Nothing too major. However, this is a fantastic lap and race so far. So this is fantastic to see there. A Risky Racer, very close behind Kyle again. He's actually closed about half a second on that last lap, so he's going to be in DRS. I am hearing, obviously, that Aiden Griffin's tyres in P9 have had it. He's been on them for 11 laps, so he's been on it very long. You know, he pitted way too early, even though it was a virtual safety car and etc. He did have wing damage though, so you know, I think it's the lesser of two evils there. We're actually going to go on board with Machine Fishy as they come on back onto that back straight. He needs to get a good exit there. Machine Fishy has 1 lap older tyres, and he's going to get one more chance at this. You know, this is the penultimate lap. He's about to start the final lap, and you know, he needs to do something. I think this time, you know, he needs to overtake him. Got to go defensive, and actually, Knighton there. Oh, Knighton very, very late at moving there. I think, you know, Machine Fishy may not have liked that too well, but I think that is a done deal for that position for the time being. But then, you know, Knighton will get DRS onto this main straight, and he'll probably try to go back around the outside, and now they are onto the final lap. Corey, and actually Machine Fishy doesn't even bother going defensive. I probably would have gone defensive there, obviously knowing it's the final lap, as Machine Fishy tries back round the outside. And to be fair, you know, I think Machine Fishy should have been the one to defend. Naturally, bit of contact there, nothing too major, but you know, nice clean there. However, as I was trying to say there, you know, Machine Fishy probably should have gone defensive there, because now he's got one chance to overtake Knighton, and that is the place where Knighton has been fantastic at defending all race. So he's risking, you know, if he doesn't get an exit, and there we go, look, he's already half a second behind from that corner alone. So you know, he's going to need to gain that 4 attempts and some to even have a chance at, you know, either overtaking him into that final second to last corner. And actually, this battle has allowed Johners and Phil to close up right behind there. You know, if there's any contact into the second to last corner, you know, the Toro Rosso boys are going to be the ones to pick up that slack, as it were. But here we go then, the final lap. Corey 9 seconds in the lead. He is always coming in there, and actually then we're going to go on board. Johners, yeah, they're all in DRS. Johners is in DRS, Phil's in DRS, and then Machine Fishy there is going to have a good slipstream. He needs to go defensive. He needs to go defensive as soon as he's past Knighton, and he does. There we go, but is Knighton going to dive it up the inside? He's going to think, fuck it, why not? Apologies there, and there we go. Corey has crossed the line. That's perfectly fine. Corey has won there as Kyle and Risky Racer, and there we go. That's the battle done. Machine Fishy has got P2, Knighton P3, John's P4, Phil P5. We're actually going to go down the field because Kyle, and there we go, Risky Racer did get, obviously, Kyle on the last lap. However, Risky Racer obviously did get unserved, so Aiden moves up to P8 as well, obviously thanks to that penalty. Obviously there, Martin getting a 3-second penalty, I think, at the last corner there, but he was on hards. With regards to that, we're just waiting for the rest of the field to leave there. Obviously, Elite Shots, P12. You know, I think he'd be a bit disappointed after last week. Obviously, Panos, P13. With regards to that, then. So, that is pretty much, obviously, it. Obviously, there's not much of a, battle for these last positions, as Andy really, getting it, as Andy gets, obviously, the unserved, of course. With regards to that. And the final place is Jack Pearson, and I must point out that Andy has beaten Jack Pearson, so that's interesting. So that is the results then, and here we go, the Alfa Romeo boys on there, obviously. 3 different teams on the podium: Renault, Alfa Romeo, and a McLaren. Good to see diversity. There's the beautiful cars, obviously there, which is absolutely fantastic. So that's perfect there. So, champagne spraying. Next race is Japan, and actually Japan, one of my favourites. It's a really good circuit, difficult to get right. And very easy to make mistakes as well. It was known to have been a test track. So yeah, that's really fantastic. And there's the results then. Corey P1, Machine Fishy P2, Knighton in P3, Jonas P4, Khalifa, I think he'll be very disappointed. It was only 11 seconds off, obviously off the race win, so it was very close for him, but not quite there. Obviously Phil Bargewell, obviously in P6, Kyle P7, Aiden Griffin's P8, Risky P9, Northants P10, Dan the Man at P11 on his return to TGP1 after a few races out. Elite Shots P12, Panos P13, Mr. Chiapelli P14, Ginger Andy on his debut for TGP for a god knows how long. P15, but he did finish ahead of Jack Pearson, which is, not a bad thing, of course, there, although Jack did make 2 pit stops due to damage. Matt Dibos scoring no points. I spoke too soon, commentator's curse. I said, he's going to win this one, and then what happens? He sort of bottles it. There's no other word for it. It's very easy to do, though, obviously, on that side of things, so bit disappointing there for Matt. He's really proven very difficult. I think the fact that I don't think he plays F1 much anymore, obviously since, the past few months, and I think that is, really showing that, he's lost that slight edge that he did have there. So, the points then at the top after that race. Corey is now on 80 points in the lead of the championship. Khalifa on 68 points. So he's still in touching distance, but he needs to pull his panties up and really sort it out. Knighton in third on 61. Matt still in fourth on 45. J. Luke on 44. Machine Fishy on 43 and Aiden on 31 there. So that is the top, 7 drivers in the championship at the moment. So yeah, it's very interesting, as it were, with regards to that. So just waiting for the next session to get underway. Japan, as I was saying, it's a very difficult circuit. Very easy to sort of mess it up. Very easy to make mistakes. But however, I'm going to say, if it's dry, and if it's a plain qualifying, everyone gets the laps and no one bottles it, I hate to say it, and I really don't want to say it, I think Matt may have it, because I know last season there was quite a big gap between P1, P2 to P3. I think it was about half a second. Obviously, but between that, so hopefully that's not the case. I want a good battle. However, Matt needs to really pull his pants up as well and get something going. Obviously, it's very, very difficult there. But it was 12 seconds till the session starts. We've got qualifying, of course. Japan, known for its monsoons, typhoons, whatever you want to call them. Typhoons, I think it is over there. So it could rain. There's a very good chance it could rain. I hope it doesn't, because Japan, when it rains, the racing isn't always close. It's a very difficult circuit in the dry, let alone in the wet. So we need to be very careful with that. And my fingers are crossed. You can't see it because there's no webcam for my commentary. Not really sure you want that, because isolation. It's not really something you want to see. I'm pretty ugly, pretty tired. I look like a raggedy dog. I don't actually, not yet anyway. But yeah, we'll see. So then, as we can see, a few corners there showing on the picture, just waiting for Matt Dibos to ready up, and there we go. And then it should get the session underway. So then, is it wet? Is it dry? That is the question. It's very cloudy. It's very cloudy, and I'm going to ask my pit lane reporter if it's going to be a wet race or not. And apparently, I am hearing it is a wet race, so that's not what I wanted. Not what I wanted at all. And I believe it's inter tyres, potentially. A lot of the teams are thinking of inters, not wets. And I think that could get very hairy into turn 1 again. Similar to China, it's a very fast entry that slows up as you go through it. It's very tight around here as well, so it's quite difficult there. I think a lot of people probably should run quite high downforce. I'd say maybe 5 to 8, give or take, just for that middle sector, so they're not skating on ice. That's not what you want through there. It's hard enough in the dry as it is. You really don't want that. As we see a few cars coming out, Toro Rosso there, 2 Haas cars coming out with regards there. Also, we can see all the marshals are very interested on the right hand side of seeing the cars going out. I don't think they've seen racing for a long time if it was real life, so it's always good to entertain the boys, as we see obviously John is there, Dan the Man, Elite Shots all on their outlap, while everyone else is slowly trickling out the pits with the Alfa Romeo. Obviously Phil Bardwell there as well, just coming out the pits, and a Mercedes, I believe, of Northants. So It's going to be an interesting one. You know, who's gone for low downforce just to get the qualifying hot lap in? Who's gone for high downforce thinking of the race? And that's the ball game you've got to play. You can either run low downforce, get good slipstream, get good straight line speed for qualifying, but then you're going to be nowhere for the race. You're going to be ice skating off. You're going to have no grip. It's a balancing act. It is really, really difficult. So we're going to see who has the balls, who has those balls in their hands to really push it. We're gonna see. We're going to see who has it at the moment. Matt's still in the pits at the moment. He's not coming out yet. But people really need to think about what they're doing. Who's going to be the first one to start a lap? I think Dan the Man's going to be one of the first people. However, I'm actually going to go on board with Jonas just because this is I think his second week in TGP1 this season. He's improved a lot. He is a former TGP champion as he nearly loses the rear end there, according to the spectator cam. Obviously, careful of that bump on the exit there. Down this main straight, usually you run it in overtake, just to get that bit extra. Third to fourth gear, through the second part of turn 1, turn 2. Misses the apex there. It is a better line. Runs it a bit wide there. Not quite getting the line that he wants. Avoid this curb on the left. Very easy to unsettle the car. And obviously keep it tight here. Very easy to get on these curbs and it unsettles the car. Keep it very tight to this right-hander. As you want to open up this left-hander at Dunlop, avoid that curb on the inside. It will unsettle the car and you'll be straight off. So you do not want to do that, obviously. But it seems all dandy for Jonas. Avoid cutting this corner. Very easy because it's such a low curb. Very easy just not to see the corner and either cut it or run it wide and then do a Lewis Hamilton in I think 2009, 10. Obviously here's the hairpin. Short shift. Go into first and then go to second, straight to third, just to avoid that wheel spin. Keep it tight to the right hand side. You think there's no point because you've full throttle anyway, but keep it tight on this game. And Jonas is all over the circuit there, not really keeping it tight. Avoids that curb on the left. You can take it sometimes. Third and then short shift back up to fourth through this second part of the spoon. Obviously, again, I'd say stay all the way to the left. There is a slight curve on this side, so you want to do that. 130R. Then Jonas has set a purple middle sector. However, no one has set a time yet. I think Dan the Man is just about to set one. 29.5. There you go. Very, very slow there for Dan the Man, but he may have not practiced. I'm not too sure there. Jonas then hits that curb. He stays to the right. Very good tactic from Jonas there. Obviously, stay all the way to the right. Jonas does a 29.1, 4 tenths quicker then. Obviously, compared to Dan the Man, you'd expect that. Mr. Chiapelli then is on an out lap. Who's actually on a flying lap? Knighton then is on a flying lap coming through the hairpin. Aidan Griffiths, we're going on board with Aidan Griffiths for the final, obviously, corner there, or, well, final sector, should I say. Aidan has set a purple middle sector, according to that. It has now just disappeared, so I would assume someone else has just set a purple middle. Jonas, and actually Phil goes P2 there on a 29.3. Aidan keeps it very tight, perfect line from Aidan there, and he goes P2 on a 29.3, so not quite where he wants to be. Again, everyone's very, very far off at the moment. It was a 27.0, I believe, was pole position, obviously last season, so they are two seconds off at present. I don't know if the patches have affected the grip. I know the fact that the last patch, or one of the patches, did affect. Oh, there's Martin there. There's two cars off. Obviously, Risky Racer and Martin, they're both off in the Mercedes and McLaren respectively. So I'm not sure if there was contact there or they just both spun it. So that was an interesting one there. There's obviously Luca then coming through Spoony. Is currently in P8 with no time set. Only 6 drivers have set times there. Luca is sporting the number 14. Not sure if he's a fan of Alonso or not. He is a Manx man, so you never know. Obviously, you don't know where their allegiances lie. But yeah, we'll see then as he comes through Spoon into the final chicane. Then try and keep it tight as Waze has joined for the second race as always. So obviously, welcome to him, and we're going to actually see them. Obviously, where Luke goes is currently no time set. And he goes P6, second to last of the people who have set times. But there we go. And obviously, Matt Tibos is still in the pits. As obviously Dan the Man, P4, Kyle P5, as we get a bit of a camera angle there of turn 1 with no car. There was a yellow flag through the final chicane. That's just people backing up, obviously with that. And I think it is Jack Pearson and Aidan Griffins in that final chicane, as you can see on the right hand side. I think both of them are coming into the pits, of course, so their laps are done. Obviously Jack Pearson in at P6, and that's actually obviously a 30.0. But as I was trying to say, I think potentially the game with the patches has maybe changed the grip. There's 2 seconds off, what pole was last season, I believe. And as I was going to say as well, one of the reasons I'm not racing this season as well is due to the force feedback being, as it were, fucked this season. So yeah, it's not the greatest there. Obviously Owen, I think, obviously Mayor Quimby also in the same boat. He has decided to pull out, hence why he's no longer racing this season, because of the force feedback has just been absolutely ruined there. And Risky is in the wall, I believe, which is not really what he wants. As actually, I've missed it as I'm talking absolute shite. Dan the Man is on pole on a 29.0 at the moment. I'm actually going to go on board with Corey then into turn 1. Championship leader at the moment, Corey is. He needs to keep it clean. Very hard to overtake at this circuit, especially if you start from the back if you bottle your lap, which you do not want to do. So let's take a look then. Is he going to set, purple sector 1? It's going to be interesting. He avoids that curb. He rides the curb quite a bit, and is actually off. And that was at, I believe, well, we're coming up to it. We're actually coming up to it now. And there we go. Look there, Andy on the right hand side. I think he got a bit of a tank slapper, I reckon, on that AstroTurf and straight across into the wall. Similar to what Matt did, really. Obviously, so that's not great for Andy. However, at the moment, Andy... What? Where is Andy? Can't even see him. Has Andy settled that? No, he hasn't. He's last. Andy is last, so Andy will be starting last in this session. So not really what he wants. And Corey, it wasn't a purple sector 1, I don't believe. Is it going to be a purple sector 2? We're going to find out. And it is a purple sector 2. That usually gives us an indication on whether or not people are up. And actually, I'm not even using the full one there. So in the top right, if I have that up usually, it shows how quick they are up. And it's very difficult, I must point out, to do that. And 28.8, so Corey is on pole position, and we're going to go on board with Machine Fishy then. Final corner, avoids that curb, keeps it very, very tight, which is good for him. He's going to be on pole, and he goes P1 at 28.3. We're only a second and 3/10 off, so that's good from Machine Fishy there. It clearly shows there's a lot more pace to come from these drivers. I think they're getting the banker in. And actually, one thing I am not pointing out is I'm saying that these people are 1.3 off what they should be doing. I reckon that's because a lot of them are running high downforce compared to their dry setup, so that is probably why the lap times are quite slow, as obviously Matt Tibos gets out of the way of Jack Pearson, who I believe is on an out lap, and Matt Tibos has just parked it for some reason. I think he's really getting out of the way of Jay Luke there. Very, very good from him, but he doesn't want to do that too often, or it might disqualify him. So yeah, so here we go then. Matt Tibos starting his lap. He's in hot lap at the moment, as we can see in the bottom right hand corner on his ERS. Now goes into overtake, as I said, people do just to get that bit of extra straight line speed. He's going to probably go into hot lap or high for the middle sector. He keeps it in hot lap, avoids the apex, runs it very wide there, so that's pretty much his lap already over, and he's invalidated it by going wide there. Not sure how that works, coders, but okay. But again, Matt Tibos, as Phil Wardwell there, a bit scary. He was completely out of the way, but yeah, Matt Tibos there on his first lap invalidated it, and this is what I've been talking about. You don't want to leave it too late, because then you've got the pressure of delivering. You get traffic, you do something like that where you miss the apex and run it slightly wide, and that's you qualifying over. And we saw that at last week in the first race, or the week before that, where he didn't get a quali lap. It was Russia, that was it, at Russia. And look how that turned out. I mean, I think he got P4, P5, but it could have been a win. As Aidan then is actually about to. Well, Aidan does go third, so that's fine then. 28.9, still quite a country mile off, but we're going to stay with Khalifa then, as he is on the lap. He is obviously the guy second in the championship in his Alfa Romeo, number 34 on the back of the car there. Is he going to get 34 pole positions, 34 wins, 34 titles? It's going to be very difficult, the racing that he's doing at the moment. Obviously, he's lost that championship lead. However, you know, he's going to be desperate. He's going to be wanting, you know, that win. I think, you know, after Spa last season, where basically he, you know, leading, went through the final corner, started weaving to celebrate, spun it into the wall, as Khalifa has set a purple middle sector for a second there. So, not sure if that stands if someone else has came through and has done faster than him. However, Martin Northants has retired, so Khalifa then coming out of the final corner across the line. And where is he going to go? He goes only P6, and John is then also a purple middle sector as that disappears as he goes there. So again, I'm not sure if it is purple or not. Through the final chicane, obviously trying to avoid that bump as he goes over it there. Keeps to the right. Is he going to go from P5? Is he going to improve? He goes to P3, only half a second off pole position at the moment. So who is next? Dan the Man is going up to Spoon. I do believe it's actually Elite Shots coming into the final chicane at the moment. Yes, it is. He is on those soft tyres. Number 39 on the side of his car. Rich Energy. We don't talk about that anymore. You know, we don't know who they are. We don't care. And Elite Shots goes into P8. Very respectable for himself there. P8 on a 29.5. And here we go then. Jack Pearson. Jack Pearson having a bit of a, you know, wobble there, but he does go into the pits as that. We're going to go on board then with Dan the Man. He's on a 29.0 at present in P5. He's not invalidated it, so that is fantastic. Is he going to improve? He keeps on with his lap, so it must be an improvement, and he goes into, he doesn't improve sadly. He was 2 tenths off, as you can see in the top right. So that's not good there. So then, who is on a flying lap? I think everyone's on an in-lap at the moment. We're actually going to have a look at the tyres. With regards to, I think everyone's on in-laps at the moment. Everyone's done 1 to 2 laps on their tyres at the moment. So I do believe then the next 2 people who are going to set laps is going to be Jay Luke, who's at the hairpin on his outlap, and Matt Tibos, who's coming up to Spoon. So we're actually going to go on board with Matt Tibos, see what he can do this time, see, you know, the pace that we know he's got at present. Again, you don't win one tyre. It's actually Knighton then goes P4 on a 28.9, so it's really close. You know, this wet weather in the race is going to prove very close for qualifying at least, which is absolutely fantastic. So obviously Matt Tibos there backing off from obviously the Haas ahead of him. Obviously he wants to get a bit of a gap obviously there, and I do believe it's Dan the Man heading into the pits there. Dan the Man in the pits there, and here we go then. Matt Tibos across the line. He goes overtake. Obviously down the main straight, then he'll go back into hot lap through the S's. Will he do it? He keeps it a lot better this time into turn 1. Still slightly misses the apex, but he takes that cornering speed, avoids the curb on the left hand side. Obviously avoids that curb, very good there, nice and clean there. I think this probably will be very high up there for him. Try and keep it tight for there. You know, go up those gears, avoid that curb on the left. He avoids that curb on the right, so that's fantastic. He's keeping it smiley, and he is keeping it tidy at the moment, which is fantastic. He's got a purple middle sector, so that's him up there. Doesn't take much curb on the left hand side there. I think he probably lost a bit of time compared to what he usually does. First gear straight into third, as you can see, as Panos retires. As you can see there, from first straight to third on the exit, and actually gets a bit of grass there, which already unsettles him, so that may have cost him, should I say, a slight bit of time. He rides a bit of curve there on the exit curb. Matt Tibos is really pushing, and I think this probably will be his only lap that Matt Tibos does, so this is all that counts for Matt Tibos. You know, he got a purple middle sector. Yes, he does. He's got a purple first and middle sector there as the car gets out of the way of Phil Bardwell. Is Matt Tibos going to get pole? I think he probably will, looking at his first 2 sectors, so he is up on his time through the final corner. He keeps it right on the right hand side, and here he goes across the line, and Matt Tibos a 27.9, and Corey then is about to stop a lap as well. So Matt Tibos there, 4 tenths quicker than Machine Fishing again. You know, Matt Tibos showing he's got the pace late on, but he is risking it by, you know, leaving it so late. And we're actually going to stay on, you know, on the visual with Corey, as he is the championship leader. New fresh softs, So that's perfect there. Obviously, main straight, DRS wide open. He's in overtake, so he's doing the exact same tactic as Matt Tibos, which is fantastic. Obviously, got a purple helmet there, which doesn't quite suit that car. Lord, that camera angle showing the speed. Hits the apex quite well. Gets the curb on the exit. Avoids that curb. Obviously, there to that left-hand side, which is good. As there is a yellow flag in the final sector. Nothing to worry about there. And he is coming up, Corey, to a Williams, which is slow. So hopefully he gets out the way there. Obviously, nice clean through that first set. Is it going to be purple? Is it going to be purple? He's 2/10 up on his time, Corey is. So it's not going to... nothing. Obviously, nowhere near Matt Tibos as of yet. But we will take a look. What can he do in that middle sector? He stays in second gear compared to Matt. Matt goes into first and then goes straight up to third. Obviously, Corey stays in second. Obviously, not as much rotation there, and that's where Matt gains his time. It's those little things going into first, just get that rotation, going straight to third gear to stop the wheel spin. Obviously, that's where Matt really gains his time to be 4/10 as Corey there 4/10 up. He's set a purple middle sector. It's as Elite Shots then crashes out in the S's. And then what is Corey going to do then? Corey around the final corner hits that bump, it unsettles it, he keeps to the right hand side. Where's he going to go? He does not get any higher, but he does go into P3 actually, saying that, but it doesn't quite go where you want to, as Corey has retired. So that's him done and dusted with 23 seconds. Machine Fisher then round, obviously that, into the final chicane. And there we go then. So Khalifa is in the pits, starting P9, no better there. Machine Fisher around the final corner. He did a purple middle sector. Is it going to be improvement on him? And he goes P1. Machine Fishy by a 10th. So that's perfect. Next, Aidan Griffins coming through 130R. Currently sat in P6 on a 28.9 on the soft tyres. Where's he going to go? Is he going to improve on his position or on his time? He doesn't need to improve by much to get into, P4 really. And here he goes across the line and he goes into P4. Perfect there. That's fine then. And next on is Dan the Man in P7, currently 29.0. He set a purple middle sector, apparently, according to the graphic on the right-hand side then. Is Dan the Man going to improve again? Making a return to TGP tonight. Obviously, he raced last season, but he missed the first 2 weeks due to just not wanting to play the game. And here we go. Dan the Man goes into P3, so fantastic then for Dan the Man. Obviously, Knighton then, I think, is the closest person, obviously, to that. 2 cars left, obviously. Johners, as Jack Pearson then retires. Johners and Knighton are the only 2 on laps, and they are actually pretty close, I'd say, to each other. As you can see on the map on the right side, both. One's going in Spoon, one's going out Spoon. And I must say, Knighton's helmet in that McLaren looks very nice. Dark blue, I think he's really gone for that. That side of things there. So, into the final chicane then. It's Knighton currently sitting P7 on a 28.9. And here we go, getting a bit of grass kicked up there. Is he going to improve? I think he is. And he goes to P5. That's perfectly fine. And the last runner then, Johners currently in P7 around the final corner, also getting a bit of grass there. Is he going to do it? Yes, he does. He goes to P5. Johners does. So that is fantastic. Fishy is on pole position for the Japanese Grand Prix. Matt Tibos, P2. And that is Machine Fishy's first pole position this season, so that is absolutely fantastic. And there we go then. Machine Fishy P1, Matt Tibos P2, Dan the Man, a great P3, is half a second off, so quite a big gap there. Corey P4, a bit disappointed with that, I'd say. Obviously, he is now leading the championship. Jonas P5, Knighton P6, Aidan P7, Kyle P8, Khalifa P9. Again, it's pretty much 1.5 seconds off. Is miles off. Phil Bardwell P10, Elite Shots P11, Mr. Chiapelli in P12, Luke there. Obviously, Jack Pearson P13, J. Luke P14, Panos 15th, Northern 16th, Frisky Race 17th, Ginger Andy didn't set a time in P18 due to crashing early on. So, not really what he wants. But now is the race. It's wet conditions. Who's going to get a good start? Who's going to bottle it? Who's going to fill up the bottle with water? You've got to think of positives. You've got to think of the positives here. If you've got it, you've got water, and there we go. It's absolutely chucking it down. If it's raining, you may as well get some bottles out, especially in quarantine. Even though you've got taps. You need to be careful, but still. So, Here we go then, 27 seconds to go. It's not wet enough for wet tyres. It looks like it's definitely into tyres. It's, according to my pit lane friends down in the garages, it should stay wet the entire race. Whether it's dries up slightly, it goes to full wet tyres, that is another story. But we're gonna see. So we shall see about that. So there we go then. The countdown is over. The lights are coming on. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And away they go. And who is going to get a good start? Machine Fisher gets a fantastic start. Matt Tibos gets a bad start. Dan the Man is alongside. However, obviously, Matt Tibos somehow working his way up back to P2. And he thinks about going up the inside. Matt Tibos thinks about going up the inside of Machine Fishy, but he backs out of it there. Obviously, nice and clean. A bit of, argy-bargy at the back. A few position changes there. However, Matt Tibos is looking racy at the moment on Machine Fishy, and Matt Tibos thinking about the upside. He backs out of it. Got a wheel on the grass there. I think at the moment, obviously, Matt Tibos does seem to have the confidence to really push it. Obviously, he wants to push it to the limit, as it were. But obviously, the gap at the moment, obviously between the top 3, is still pretty close. It's only Sector 2. However, Corey is already up to P3. So that's good. And I must point out, Khalifa is down to P10, so I think he's lost a position there. Risky Racer has spun it. That's not what you're seeing. Obviously, Dan the Man and Johners really getting close. Johners nearly overtaking Dan the Man. It wasn't intentional, I'm hearing, so on the radio. So I think he may have outbroken himself or locked up. So that's difficult there, but. Matt Tibos, 4 seconds, and Elite Shots, I believe, has spun it, and there he goes, gravel. He loves a bit of gravel, there he does. So that's all the way down. And actually, someone else has spun. Ginger Andy's spun and actually hit the side of Elite Shots, as Elite Shots has retired. And the gap then between P2 and P1 is pretty close. Matt Tibos, really struggling there. Oh, Matt understeering wide there, outbraking himself. Corey is right behind this. And actually, is Corey going to have a think about into turn 1? Obviously, Corey is closer. And he's actually... Whoa! That was close. Corey getting a better drive out of that chicane than Matt Tibos. I think Matt Tibos must be struggling with those inters at the moment. Matt Tibos, is he going to be up the inside at the moment? That is a terrible shot. And Matt Tibos there thinking about up the inside, but he did back out just in time. So that is fantastic there, obviously, with those fights. However... Corey now into P2. The championship leader is in P2 at present then. We're actually going to go on board and have a look down the grid. Or field, should I say. It's not the grid anymore. Aidan Griffin's 6 temps. Obviously behind John. John's running a bit wide there. He needs to be careful there. Knighton is off, I'm hearing. Oh, this is a bit of a close battle. That is the worst camera angle I've ever seen. It's all going on in this fight. Obviously, Knighton did go wide in that corner, hence why they are so close. Obviously, there. So it's very close in this middle sector. And actually, Knighton does have wing damage, as you can see on his right hand side on our left. So that's it's a bit of a choo-choo train, that is at the moment between P5 to P10. I'm hearing there's a bit of lag going on out there as well, so people need to be careful of that. Don't want to take any unnecessary risks, get any damage. So you do not want that. And actually, here we go then. Kyle then. He won't have DRS because it's wet. He does have the slipstream then. Is Aidan going to go defensive into that chicane? I think he may need to. There. And actually, there's a bit of a battle going on. Obviously, with regards to that. And that's actually nothing there. There's Speed Knighton then gets a penalty from that chicane. Not really what he wanted. With that, and Matt Tibos only 3/10 behind Corey now in P2. Obviously, Matt Tibos is using slightly less than Corey, 29% by Corey, 48 to Matt Tibos. And actually, Matt Tibos has massively underfueled his car. If you look in the bottom right on the indicator, his fuel is yellow. While no one else is ahead of him is. So Matt Tibos clearly trying to go for that lighter car, and he's actually dropped back massively then from Corey. It's 1.2 seconds. Has Matt Tibos made a boo-boo, as it were? And now his fuel's back to being gone. It's no longer yellow. So Matt Tibos definitely has underfueled his car quite a lot. And here we go then. P7 or P8 and 9, should I say? Oh, on the grass there for Phil. Oh, Knighton there, I think moving back onto the racing line. Under braking, not what he wants. Obviously, Khalifa there getting very close. There's a yellow flag, and Morton, obviously Northants there, obviously crashing out. I'm afraid, not really what he wants with regards to that second and third, or second and first. Can't even speak anymore. The excitement's got to me with regards to that. And there is a safety car. There is a safety car, and as you can see, Northants crashed in turn 4, obviously on the track map there. So not what he wants. Now, do people pit? Do people pit? I think it's not worth it. It's absolutely not worth pitting at this point in time. You know, unless you are at the back. You know, unless you're at the back. Ginger Andy, I'd probably say pit. Wace, probably pits. You know, risky. Oh, Fishy then. What was Fishy doing there? As you saw it on the side of the thing. Knighton has pitted, I believe. So Knighton is dropping down. He's risking it. However, I must point out, Knighton did have wing damage there. A few of the people who did pit did have wing damage, so that's probably why they're pitting. I think Ginger Andy should pit just to get a fresh set of tyres, to be honest, and I do believe he doesn't. Or yes, he does actually. Ginger Andy has pitted from the back of the field, and I'm hearing it's supposed to get drier. And yes, I'm hearing that the rain is supposed to lighten up in 5 minutes' time. Now, will it be dry enough for dries? That is a different question entirely. Obviously, the weatherman is pretty inaccurate on this game. Sometimes he'll say it will dry up and it won't. However, you know, that's a good thing, to be honest with yourself. And I don't want to jinx it. And I really don't want to jinx it, because I did with Matt last race and said he was going to win. Machine Fishy, if he wins, he'll be a brand new winner. I must point that out. The 4th new winner, I believe, this season. I'll see after Khalifa, Jack Craig, Matt Tibos, and Corey. So, I'm hearing, according to Johners, he cannot hear beep. So, I don't think Johners' eyes are very good, because I can see perfectly fine on Johners on board. He can't see. I'll see there. So, actually, yeah, it's getting quite bad at low speed. There's quite a lot of fog. Where is the white visor, as Felipe Massa would say? White visor, baby. So, lap 4 of 13. Is the safety car going to be in this lap? I don't think it is. It's going to do one more lap, as it usually backs off, or turn its lights off way before now. So it's going to do one more lap, which is going to be pretty interesting if it is going to dry up. So, and obviously Luca is going to, he's going to catch. So is J. Luke. So is Knighton, and so is Ginger Andy. If it's going to be another lap, then yeah, these guys are going to all catch back up to the snail trail, as it were, the snail of the safety car. Obviously, Andy then probably didn't expect much from tonight's races. He hasn't had much from tonight's race either. However, we'll see. We'll see what Andy can do. He's on those fresh mediums. Same with sort of the 3 to 4 cars ahead of him. But you never know. You never know, really. So then, what is going to be the restart? Who is going to start the restart? Going to be Machine Fishy. We're going to see. We are going to see who is going to get the best restart. And I must point out, when it comes to safety car restarts, if people don't know, you can floor it and go when the safety car goes into the pits. As soon as the safety car goes into the pits, you get full throttle control, so you can floor it whenever you want. So, looking at it here then, as Knighton has just got a penalty under the safety car with collision with J. Luke. So, that's not good, and they are at the back of the field. And I do believe Knighton has wing damage again. And yes, you can. So Knighton has just pitted for new tyres, and now he's got wing damage. So that's not the greatest there. And what we're going to do, we're going to go back to the front, waiting for the safety car. These guys not really warming the tyres as of yet. They're just sort of mentally preparing for the restart. You can't really prepare too much for the restart. You don't know if you're going to get good traction. If you're not, it's just when you're there, you're there. There's no point planning anything, because you can't plan anything at all. And the safety car, I am hearing, is in this lap, which it should be. So yeah, we're about to get racing yet again in tonight's Japanese Grand Prix, the 2019 Japanese Grand Prix, even though it's 2020 now. So then, here we go. Gonna take a look, and is Machine Fishy. Will Machine Fishy get a good restart? Will he back the pack up? He doesn't look like he's backing it up too much at the moment. Obviously, Machine Fishy, keeping it gentle. He's not really, slowing down at all. Obviously, if he wants to, he can, 10 mile an hour if he wants to, as long as it's consistent. But he is really, slowing it down there. Safety car is now in the pits, so now he's going to jump it, and there he goes. Panos has, obviously, got a penalty there, and Machine Fishy has gone, and he's already got a second lead. However, Matt Tibos is only half a second behind Corey. This battle is going to be resumed yet again into turn 1. It's going to be interesting, actually. Khalifa has been overtaken by Jack. So that's a bit of a battle into turn 1. There we go. Obviously, Khalifa being overtaken by Jack Pearson on the main straight, on the restart. Obviously, not usually what you usually see, especially when it's wet. And here we go then. Obviously, not a battle yet. Middle sector, you're not really going to get too many battles, I would think. Matt Tibos now a second pretty much behind Corey after being only half a second. So I think Matt's really struggling in these conditions. He's not really showing the pace that he has. Obviously, normally, at least. Obviously, Luca, I believe, overtaking Waze there. That's fine. And actually, there we go. Battle for P5 and P6. Obviously, Jonas, I think, went wide. Oh, and I think Jonas has wing damage on his left-hand side, so that's not going to be good for himself there. Side by side, then going up to Spoon. Very easy in these wet conditions. Someone, I believe, is yellow flag. There is a car off, and it is Knighton in Sector 1. So that's fine, nothing to worry about there. And there's a bit of contact, I think, further behind. Nothing too major, that's fine. Obviously, nothing major there, nothing untoward. And here we go then. Aiden lining back up with Jonas. Jonas, is he going to go defending? That's fine there. And actually, as we're watching this battle, the top two have closed up as well. It's now only 2 tenths, so Machine Fishy must have made a mistake there. Obviously with that, and now Matt's closed back up as well as Jonas goes defensive there. Aiden thinks about going around the outside, but a bit of slight tap in there. Obviously he puts any pain to that, so not really what he wanted there. And we're going to go back on board with P3. Matt on Corey is going to go around the outside. It's very dangerous to try and go around the outside there. He thinks about it. And actually, I think he's really making it stick. And there we go. Corey, due to the nature of the corner, keeps P2. Nice clean race in there. But Corey, coming under a lot of pressure from Matt again. Top 3 all fighting for that win. All 3 of them know they can win. Dan the man in P4 is 2 seconds behind the top 3 now. So these 3 are off into the races. Aiden and Jonas side by side through Dunlop. Obviously, Jonas is going to have the inside line there. And Dan the man, that's going to potentially be quite good for Jonas and Aiden. Dan has just got a penalty and he's only 2 seconds ahead. Obviously. However, apparently these 2 guys that we're watching now do have penalties. And Aiden there, Aiden losing the back end there, under braking. I'll see. So there we go then. So that's not good. Aiden losing the back end there. And look at this. And Phil has lost it, and he's into the barriers. He kept it out. Very, very good driving there from Phil, keeping it out. He needs to keep clear of the cars who are down there. And there's a Williams there. There's a Williams off. Obviously, J. Luke going off into the grass. Everyone is struggling on these intermediate tyres now, it appears. Obviously, potentially these people could be quite useful for the people who have pitted onto a brand new set of Inters. And is Aiden going to dive up the inside there? Jonas goes defensive again. Aiden thinking around the outside. He's still there. Good, clean race, and I'm liking this. And Aiden is struggling quite a lot. He doesn't have damage as far as I can see. Jonas does, so, this wet weather is really helping Jonas with that damaged wing. So that's okay. And actually, Matt Tibos still 2 tenths behind Corey. Obviously, any of these 3 in the top make any mistakes, and the other 2 are going to absolutely enjoy it. So that's good there. And actually, people are struggling. Obviously, there's a bit of a bottleneck behind Jonas. There's a bottleneck behind Jonas at the moment. You've got Aiden. You've got Kyle. You've got Khalifa's about a second behind, but close up. There is a yellow flag somewhere. I think that's just Knighton at the back of the field going into the thing. And Matt Tibos actually has made a mistake. Has he got any wing damage there? And that is why there was a yellow flag. And there is no damage on Matt Tibos's Tibos, whatever, however you pronounce it there. And Aiden has passed Jonas there. And actually, now Kyle is on Jonas as well. Kyle runs it wide there into the hairpin. And so that's not what he wanted, but he has got far better traction. And he's going to have the inside for Spoon if he can keep it there. Very easy to mistake how wide your car is in these wet conditions. You know, let it drift out a bit wider than it needs to be, and there's contact if you're not careful. So that's fine there. But you know, as I was trying to say, Matt Tibos, I think that yellow flag was actually Matt Tibos and not Knighton. He must have made a mistake at Dunlop. So, what is going to be this? And actually, Phil and Risky Racer, we're going to go on board with that then. This is the closest battle and the tastiest battle. And actually, Phil, I think, has dropped quite a lot. I think he may have been in an incident. He may have been spun. I'm not too sure there. And Phil up the inside. Oh, actually, no. Risky up the inside. Risky up the inside there. Very late. Phil keeps that place. Obviously, we do know Risky does like to risk it for those biscuits. He needs to be very careful of that, though. And here we go then, Risky. And a bit of lag there, He's now inside. He's inside Phil, and now he's on the inside of Phil. So, and he's spun. And Risky has spun it. I think that was more the game lagging than sort of either one's fault. So that's not what you want to see. And Panos is actually right behind Jack Pearson in P9 and P10 with Mr. Chiapelli P11. So they are very close. So that's okay. And actually, we're actually having a battle for P1. Machine Fishy is on the outside. He's going to be on the outside for Spoon. However, he's going to have... Oh, there's a bit of contact. And Corey is out. And Matt Tibos is now leading. Matt Tibos is now leading the race. As I said a couple laps ago, if there are any incidents, Matt Tibos is going to prove well. And now look at it. Matt Tibos, who crashed out at the last race, is now leading the race. Corey, who won the last race, is now out of the race. It's a role reversal for those two. There is a virtual safety car as well, I must point out, in the top left. Will Matt Tibos think about pitting? I don't think there's any point. I really don't. Does Machine Fishy have damage? Let's try and take a look, shall we? With that, it looks like he's got his end plates, so it might not be major damage. And he is staying out, as we can see there. So Dan the Man has now inherited P3 in this race. So he'll be happy with that. But again, it's very easy. And actually, Mr. Chiapelli only a 10th behind then. Panos, is he going to think of going up the inside into turn 1? He does. He thinks about it. Is he going to go up the inside? No, he's not quite close enough there. As we see the Red Bull of Jack Pearson ahead of them, going a bit wide into turn 1. But yeah, and actually, we're going to go on board with Risky and Waze. I think there was a bit of a battle there. No, it seems to be over. So we missed that one. We missed that one there. But Chiapelli, this is the closest battle now. Chiapelli on Panos, only 6/10 with regards to that. And Khalifa is now on John's. We're actually going to go on board on the T-Cam with this. So we're going to take a look there. And Khalifa is, I'll see. Oh, bit of oversteer there for Khalifa. Needs to be careful of that. You don't want to do a Matt Tibos from last race there. But Matt Tibos, he is... You know, it must be Christmas for Matt Tibos. It really must, because he was in P3. He made a few mistakes this race already, and the two people ahead of him crashed into each other. I think that says it all. So that's not going to be a pleasant conversation. And after this race, if it finishes like this, Matt Tibos will be only 9 points off the lead, thanks to everyone else's inconsistency this season. One minute. Khalifa's looking, is fighting for the title. Then it changes. Then it's Corey. Then it changes. Then it's Matt. Then it changes. Then it's someone else. You know, at the moment, as Jonas goes wide there, as we can see, obviously really struggling with that damaged wing. I think the tyres are really, having it at the moment. They're really struggling to keep grip, especially on traction. But will he try and go up the inside? He's going to have the slipstream. I don't think he's going to be quite close enough into turn 1. He needs to, bide his time. He does not want more damage for either driver. Obviously, Khalifa needs to think of he's still in the fight for the title. You know, he needs to get as many points as he can, and that's the difference between championship material and average drivers. They try and keep it as clean as they can. They know when there isn't a fight to be had, they don't fight. And here we go, we've got obviously P3 and P4 quite close at the moment. We're going to stay on board with Khalifa, I think, at the moment. And Panos, I believe, obviously is lagging. Panos is lagging, I'm hearing, obviously on that. And there's a car off there. Jack Pearson and Panos both are off. And Dan and Aiden there, side by side, is all kicking off now. It's all kicking off now. Aiden round the outside of Dan the man. Obviously, bearing in mind, last season, Dan the man beat Aiden in the championship. I will point that out. Now, it's the opposite. Aiden is overtaking Dan the man and is now slowly pulling away. Will Aiden be able to pull away from Dan the man? And Kyle then in P5 is right behind. So, as I said with the front three, if there's any contacts between these two, Kyle is going to be absolutely loving life. And obviously Dan there. And actually, Dan gets a bit of a shove from Kyle there into that chicane. So, nothing too major there. Nothing too major. Also, do not worry about that. Slight outbreaking. Obviously, no harm done for either driver there. But yeah, so here we go then. Kyle not close enough into turn one. And actually, Andy then has been overtaken by J. Luke Dan into turn one. And J. Luke looks like he's got that. That's perfectly fine. A nice, good one. Keeps it there. And Jan, Andy thinking about getting up beside that. Another stat, softest pointless pointers makes a return. Andy hasn't scored a single point in TGP for 2 years. That's a long time. I must point out though, to Andy's defence, he hasn't raced in TGP. He hasn't really raced in TGP 1 or 2 for 2 years either. So hence why the lack of points. But Ginger Andy making a guest appearance, I'd say, in tonight's races. Quarantine and all, it's quite difficult. And actually, we're going to go back on board with Khalifa. Obviously, Khalifa then really trying to size up Jonas, and Jonas is actually doing really well on those defensive moves. Jonas is still missing half of his wing, I must point out. So Jonas is doing very well to be defensive against cars who have got no damage. I mean, the wet weather does help, mitigate some of that. However, is Khalifa going to get him here? A bit of lag going on here, as you can see on the screen. Makes the gap appear bigger than it probably actually is. But Khalifa looks like he doesn't quite. And Khalifa's not really using as much ERS. Khalifa's got 63% ERS, while Jonas only got 36. Oh, bit of lag there. And again, actually, this train here, then, you've got Jonas, Khalifa, Mr. Chiappelli, and Phil. It's a 4-way fight for P5, or P6, should I say. And who is going to... And actually, we're going to go on board with Phil. Phil and, obviously, Mr. Chiappelli there. I don't know which one to watch. And Phil's going to try around the outside. Phil is going to try around the outside. And Phil makes it stick. Phil makes it stick around the outside of turn one, and that was the worst camera to even attempt to see that. But that was a good little battle going on. Good little battle. Khalifa still 3 attempts behind Jonas, so that's not. And is Phil going to be able to catch obviously Khalifa and overtake him on this last lap? It's going to be a big ask, but with Jonas defending as much as he can, he might possibly. And Khalifa's really wanting to get through. Again, he's struggling to get through. But now Khalifa needs to be careful of Phil in behind, and Khalifa actually gets a bit of oversteer there, and Phil taps him, and Jonas, there's a bit of contact there. Again, nothing too major. However, I must point out, and actually Luca, I think Mr. Chiappelli has spun it, obviously out of that battle. I think it was all going on. I think that was more a case of, a bit of contact, 4 into 1 definitely does not go. And Matt Tibos then, through the final chicane, will quickly go on board with him. Gets a win again. So that is, I believe, 2 wins for Matt Tibos this season. Not as many as he thought he'd probably get by this point. Machine Fishy come into P2. So that's perfectly fine there. And here we go. And yeah, looks like Khalifa has got P6. He's ahead of Jonas. He's ahead of Phil. Obviously with that. So yeah, I think this will be the finishing position. I do not what the penalty is saying. So John as Phil moves down quite a few positions. Andy gets P9, so that's 2 points for Andy on his return to TGP1 tonight. So that's fantastic news for Andy. Obviously, Jack Pearson just at the points in 11th place, 12th place there. Mr. Chiapelli finishes ahead on 11th. Panos then coming across the line in 13th. I don't think he may finish there. Yes, he does. Weighs P14 then. Speed 9 another 20 seconds as he actually loses it. And risky racer there then. Obviously overtaking at there. And it's all going on for these two McLarens at the moment. They're really fighting for the last one. And I'm not too sure what's going on there. That's not good racing from either of them there. Crowding them off the circuit. That's absolutely ridiculous. I don't want to see that on the stream ever again. Terrible driving there from the McLarens. And that is the Japanese Grand Prix for yourself, everyone. Let's just take a look then what the final results are in just a moment. First and foremost, we're going to go over the podium. So we've got an Englishman, a Britishman there. This Britishman isn't a word, a Brit in P1. Ferrari there. You've got the Renault in P2, the Red Bull in P3 there. Champagne spraying, diversity there on the podium from 3 different teams, 3 different nationalities. Absolutely fantastic to see. So that is good there. And in just a moment, we're going to see the final race results. And here we go then. These are the final race results for yourself once it comes out of a black screen. There we go. Matt Tibos getting another win. I would say he looked into that win. Obviously, he was P3, obviously up until that point. Machine Fishy P2, very disappointing, obviously, with that contact. However, he still finishes P2 at least. Aidan Griffin's P3, fantastic podium here. Kyle P4, Dan the Man, very disappointed, I think, to finish P5 after that. Khalifa P6, John P7, Luke P8, Andy P9, 2 points for him, fantastic for him there. Phil P10 on the final points, and obviously you can see the final grid. And I'm actually going to go over the points as well after that race. So Corey is on 80 points, Khalifa is on 76, Matt has closed the gap to 9 points on 71, Knighton is on 61, Fishy is on also 61, J. Luke is on 48, and Aidan is dropped to 46 points. Obviously still in P7 in the standings there. So that was your racing tonight. Obviously, it's been fantastic to commentate yet again. I'll be commentating as long as I can, obviously, before I start my new job. Obviously, the Soft Cop has been your host. It's been fantastic racing tonight. Next week, races, I must point out,